Hey everybody. Hope y'all having a good
Hey,
day.
I'm ready to get this over with.
Man, what? Today is the day I done got my English class finished up. I don't think none of y'all were in English, but I was. And whoo, I'm done with it. So it's go time.
Hello,
Hi.
how are
Hey,
y'all?
Dr. Savage.
Hello. So we ready to do this? Get it over with?
Yes, I'm excited. Almost done.
Yay. Okay. No. All right. So Mallory, did you put the did you put the PowerPoint up by any chance already somewhere? All right, I am looking for, there we go. Hold on a minute.
Mallory, we can't hear you.
No, we can't hear you. We just see your mouth moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't hear you. All right, while we're waiting for everybody else to get online, let's find.
Dr. Savage,
Yes.
I have work at 2:30, so I won't be able to stay on too long.
Okay. Well, I would expect we should be done by then, or
Okay.
plenty of time for you to, leave to go to work.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, Lord. There you are. Okay. And we're going to share this. So, Mallory, you were saying, or were you saying, where is the PowerPoint so we can see it? Did y'all send it to me by email by chance or some reason,
Oh, I forgot to say. Yeah.
it's still not showing.
Let me see if I could share it on my screen.
She sent in the chat that she was going to screen share when we were ready.
Oh, there we go. All right. I'm not sure why she can't, we can't hear her though. That's very weird. Great. Excellent. Wonderful. Okay. All right then. So let's see, we have everybody yet? Let me know. Okay. We are now at 1:33, so let's go ahead and do this and get started and get this done. Okay. Now I will say I started to post and then forgot about it after the fact that this has been posted with y'all to have time to consolidate, put together, throw some stuff together. I'm not going to grade you hard on this. And also did say in the instructions 1:30 Monday at 10. I just want to be sure that y'all are clear because I was informed by someone that all the grades for all of you in field were due by the 1st or the 5th, something like that, of May. And I'm not sure where that came from. Found myself double checking and triple checking and looking, calling the academic affairs and everywhere to make sure I had not missed something. And so indeed I had not. Y'all understand what's happening, right? That your grades go in on the 17th, even
And
graduating seniors.
that's true. And that's why I say ULM needs somebody else to think for them, because that don't make sense. Like that don't make sense at all, because I was telling Dr. Not to get off task, but I was telling Dr. Salisbury, a lot of people on walk and then grades due Monday, and then what if they don't pass their class?
Right. Then according to academic affairs, our VP, that means that your degree won't be sent to you. You get like a placeholder when you go in March, and you will have to finish whatever it is that you did not get to finish, and then will receive your degree and have the credit. I'm just saying, I'm just a messenger, so. Okay, we're now at 1:35. I think that's plenty of time for people to get credit who's here. So let's go forward.
Women in the military, what problems do they face? Social work 4016, class of 2021. Next, please. Hold on, let me move. Okay. As a class, we have researched 3 ways that women has been mistreated in the military: sexual assault and harassment, hair regulations, gender discrimination. And I'm not gonna read like word for word, but I'm gonna just give a brief detail so we could go ahead and get through, so people could go to work and stuff. Sexual assault and harassment. What is sexual assault within the military? Sexual assault within the military. Put your thing on it. Type it. Okay. Sexual assault within the military refers to sexual contact characterized by use of force, threats, intimidation, or abuse of authority, as well as instances in which the survivor is unable to consent. The definition of sexual assault is consistent with the term military sexual trauma, MST, which was coined by the Department of Veterans Affairs, not the Department of Defense. Both the DoD and DVA include sexual harassment and inappropriate touching with the category of sexual violence. Okay, the military structure. This to understand why sexual violence and harassment in the military helpful the basic understanding of the military branches. 3 military departments overseen by the U.S. Department of Defense. Department of the Army oversees the Army, the Department of the Navy oversees the Navy, and the Marine Corps. The Department of the Air Force oversees the Air Force, and the 5th and final branch of the military is the Coast Guard, which is overseen by the Department of Homeland Security, but control could be relayed to the Department of the Navy during wartime. We did 3 bullets. I think Katrina did this. Women in the military have said that sexual assault cases in the military are not handled properly. Some people never report sexual harassments or assaults. However, the amount of cases is still, alarming. In 2019, there was 2,684 reports of sexual assault made by the service members in the Army. In the Navy during the same time period, the number was 1,676. In total, there were 7,825 reports of sexual assault in all branches of the military. Yes, you could go on. In 2022, 20,500 service members were sexually assaulted or raped, including 13,000 women and 7,500 men. Women who reported a sexual assault, 59 were assaulted by someone with a higher rank than them, and 24% was assaulted by someone in the chain of command. Many reports incidents do not get reported. 76% of victims did not report what happened to them while they were in the military. And also, a lot of them don't report it because they're scared that something's going to happen. A lot of people, a lot of women that report sexual assault later on, they come up missing and all kind of stuff because someone down the line did something so they could cover up for what they did. You could go ahead. No, you could go back. I didn't know if Shania was available still right now. Hold on,
I
Dr.
just didn't know that it was my turn. It's my turn.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Okay. So I'm not sure if everybody can hear me because I have an AirPod in, but right here is showing a chart of the percentages. Depending on the what whether it's Marine Corps, Navy, Army, Air Force, and whether in the percentage of women and the percentage of men. So I'll just go through and read it. Well, it says percentage of active service members who reported experiencing any type of sexual assault in the past year by gender and branch. So for a total of women is 4.9%, and a total of men is 1%. In the Marine Corps, for women is 7.9%, and for men is 1.1%. In the Navy is 6.5% for women and 1.5% for men. In the Army is 4.7% for women and 1% for men. Air Force, 2.9% for women and 0.3% for men. This is showing that it does occur in both genders. However, it is way more prominent, at least it's reported more in this data for women. Victims' reluctance to report. Number 1, embarrassment or shame. 2, fear of reprisal by a perpetrator or command. 3, depression and feelings of helplessness. 4, low self-esteem. 5, anger and or guilt. 6, belief that nothing will be done. And 7, fear of being punished for collateral misconduct. So just as LaSherica stated prior, there's a fear that they will be, I guess you could say, blackballed within the military. They will be sent places, and the lower the rank it is kind of just harder on them in general. So not only do they have to deal with the embarrassment or shame from being sexually assaulted, but they have to deal with the other repercussions of being in the military. So it's double the struggles that they come up against. Personal experiences. At the top, you'll see someone says, "My name is Emily. I was at my first duty station 11 years ago. I was sleeping. Drunk Marines kicked in my barracks door and raped me. I finally locked myself in the bathroom and they yelled, 'No one will believe you. You are a new female. We will get away with this.'" The second story says, "I just turned 21. I attempted to report it and they were more concerned of my sexual orientation and threatened to out me. I wasn't ready. He got a promotion. He gets to retire with full benefits while I had to smile and move to a new base as a troublemaker." And I'm not sure if the history of don't ask, don't tell is common knowledge amongst us, but the second one, I'm assuming that is of a male, his personal story. And there used to be a, I don't want to say law, I don't know if it was law or not, but I'm just gonna say law, that you couldn't really be out in the military as gay, bisexual, anything within that category. Personal experiences continue. CBS News did an interview with victims who've experienced this, and one said she was raped her first night in her barracks. She reported the assault, but says it wasn't taken seriously. They said that I was a distraction that came into their platoon. Many women in the military have reported feeling unsafe and belittled when they spoke up about it. I can only imagine how this feels. This is just me stating this since we're presenting. I can only imagine how it feels to be like brand new into the military. You just got either deployed or whatever, and that's your first experience, and everyone's making you feel minuscule. Next, it'll continue. Sexual assault cases have surged over the years with little to no charge as a result. Preventative sexual abuse training, hotlines, and other resources are showing to be pointless. Now we're gonna watch this video. I'm gonna mute myself.
You might have to share your sound too.
Do I need to sign, maybe do something from this end?
I don't know. I just know she might have to share her sound. I don't know how that worked, but I know she might have to share her. I just heard something, but oh, that was somebody's TV. Never mind.
Well, we couldn't hear Mallory in the beginning, right?
That is true.
So somebody else may have to pull up the PowerPoint because she may have an issue with her sound.
Yeah, because I have successfully,
Okay, let me see. Let me see.
I've successfully done audio once for a video, but I don't see that same option down here.
Okay, I might have to pay it.
Tomorrow, the woman accused of helping hide the body of Fort Hood soldier.
Can y'all hear it?
Yeah, we can hear it, but we can't
Yeah,
see
we
it.
heard. Okay, hold on.
Yes. Tomorrow, the woman accused of helping hide the body of Fort Hood soldier Vanessa Guillen will face a judge. And tonight, we're seeing how Guillen's tragic death is having an impact on soldiers and veterans across the country. Here's our Grace White. For the first time, Texas EquiSearch returned to the site where Vanessa Guillen's remains were discovered 30 miles from Fort Hood. The growing memorial, a symbol of how many people Guillen's story touched, from her hometown of Houston to Washington, D.C.
This movement has been likened to a Me Too moment for the military.
Andrea Goldstein is a senior policy advisor for the Women's Veterans Task Force.
I am a survivor of military sexual trauma, and I've experienced harassment and assault.
She says 1 in 4 women experience sexual harassment or assault while serving. Now, groups like Minority Veterans of America are issuing a call to action, and 4,000 women veterans signed a separate letter to the Department of Defense demanding answers and a boycott on enlistment until systemic problems are addressed.
Many of the most vocal are also some of the people that this nation often doesn't listen to. Black, brown, and Indigenous women, those stories have been ignored.
DC is also paying tribute to Guillen with a mural in Columbia Heights, hoping women serving in the military will see her face and have the courage to come forward.
We are listening, we are here, we know what's happening.
The Guillen family attorney confirms the Army has said Vanessa Guillen may have been harassed before she died, but not from the suspect. We could learn more about motive tomorrow morning when his girlfriend goes to court. Mia, back to you.
Okay.
That was all for the video. The YouTube.
Okay, what do you feel needs to happen to minimize sexual assault? Number one, start doing intensive psych evaluations prior to joining. Sorry. Number two, keep tags of sexual assault accusations instead of brushing them off. Number three, make a requirement to complete hours of SHARP, meaning sexual assault or harassment and prevention meetings.
Gender.
Sorry, my internet went out. I had to get it on my phone. So now we're talking about gender discrimination in the military. And since 1973, when the United States military ended conscription and established an all-volunteer force, the number of women serving on active duty has risen dramatically. This was a change that was a step in the right direction for failed race, ethnicity, and gender. And some continued, the numbers of women on active duty in the military have risen dramatically since the beginning of the all-volunteer force. The number serving as enlisted personnel has grown from 42,278 in 1973 to 166,729 in 2010. And the number serving as commissioned officers has increased from 12,750 to 35,341 over that same period. At the same time, the size of the military as a whole has been declining steadily. Okay, so a little bit more about women discrimination in the military. Gender equality should mean equal job equality. The military should be like any other job. If you're capable of completing a task, your gender should not stand between you and the task at hand. But often when women try to give orders in the military, they're not taken as seriously as their male counterparts. There's often inappropriate remarks made like the ones listed. And if these remarks were made about a man in charge, they would not be taken the same way. And some things like, she's a woman, can she really get things done? Because being a woman in the military usually leads to being talked down to and belittled when it comes to your capabilities. Things like, oh, because I'm scared of a woman are being said. And all women go through natural things such as period. And some men and other people in the military might look at this as a weakness and think that you can't get things done just because of the natural things that happen to all women. And power or no power when showing emotion. Typically, anytime a woman shows emotion, they are seen as dramatic. And if they get angry, they're irrational or hysterical. And not only are they not taken seriously, they're seen as weak, which also contributes to the cliche saying of why women shouldn't be in charge. The way we depict emotion with women ultimately has a lot to do with generations. Today, we're all about awareness and making things the norm. But just several years ago, this was very different. And seeing as how our forces are already strict and of high expectations, they do not adapt to them as quickly as the rest of the world. And I'm not sure if Catherine's internet is working, but this is where hers starts. I'm just gonna go ahead and read until she gets on. So discrimination continued. Women in the military face unique challenges. For instance, many women have succeeded and excelled in newly accessible jobs, specialties, and skills. However, women still face stereotypes about who they are and how capable they can perform their duties. These attitudes and beliefs threaten the integrity of the armed forces as well as their mission. Women may have to go above and beyond the standard to prove themselves and may routinely have their work overlooked until there is an immediate benefit. Women are seen as less capable and competent, justifying lowering expectations of them and limiting their roles. These beliefs are apparent in a variety of male-dominated professions, including the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, as well as the military. And here's a chart of discrimination by branch.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yes. Is that Catherine now? Is that Catherine White? Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can
No.
hear you.
Ma'am.
We can hear you, Dr. Singh.
All right, okay, I was just checking.
Well, over the last 70 years, women roles in the Army have changed as fast as, if not faster than society has changed. Most changes have been good. However, women still face stereotypes about who they really are and how well or capable they can perform their duties. This could dampen the real goal of the military.
Is she there or are you shorting out, Catherine?
I think she's shorting out.
Oh, wait, Catherine. Gracie, we're, okay.
Yeah, she's shorting out.
Well, this could dampen the real goal of the military and what they are all set out to do. Not only do these attitudes threaten the integrity of the military, it also threatens their missions. Continue. Women have been on the fight long before society even gave to the thought for it to be normal. Regardless of what society thinks, everyone must be prepared to fight when the time comes. There will be no front lines. Marine Corps Commandant General Robert B. Neller noted on his testimony to the Senate Armed Service Committee that we can no longer go to war without women. Starting in 2015, women have been integrated into combat jobs and training that was more for men. The discrimination is still very much real, but there have been advances to change how women are viewed in the military. And this is a chart of gender discrimination and promotion.
Okay, can y'all hear me now?
Yes.
So this slide is talking about the different words used in performance reviews within the military. Performance reviews are directly related to someone's ability to be promoted. So the fact that you see a lot of things like that under the males, positive attributes and things like energetic, you can go to the next slide. And that directly relates to if a service member will end up being promoted, because when those things are referenced later on, the males are receiving competency-based positive attributes. So things that would say, okay, this would make a good leader, or they can do their job, while the females are receiving personality-based positive attributes, which lead to things such as people saying, well, she's nice, but is she competent?
Okay.
Okay, so this section is hair regulations in the military.
Okay.
Octavia.
Oh, my bad, it was muted. Had
Okay.
discrimination in the military. Chapter 2, Section 1 begins with the statement under the heading of General Notes that the primary consideration is to have neatly groomed appearance when the uniform is worn. It also states that grooming standards are based on a number of factors, including neatness, cleanliness, safety, military image, and appearance.
The rhetoric of these manuals reveals the presence of the prevailing ideology of the 18th century that deemed it acceptable, even normal, for those of European descent to refer to the hair of blacks as wool. Being identified as an army, the rules of engagement are unduly stacked against Black women. As a result, the military vilified 31% of their enlistees by using a standard that by design was constructed to degrade.
This me, right?
Yeah.
Okay. These are just some military experiences that went on with hair discrimination and stuff. Kitty Harry was on her second day at Navy training where she experienced hair discrimination. Her supervisor at the time stated, "No, you can't have hair grease. You'll mess up my covers with that stuff." Words
Well,
that
pause. What, Octavia, please.
Mhm.
Is this another slide
Yes,
or on the
ma'am.
same one?
This a
Oh,
new
I see it.
slide.
Okay, never mind. Go ahead, keep going. I see it.
Words that still oop, words that she still basically like have to hear from today. Army Captor Deshauna Barber, whom had springly breakage prone coils, would frequently be asked, "What's the problem? Why can't you straighten your hair?" And like me, I do hair, and especially like Black people hair, how we have more coarse hair. And in here it mentioned why she can't have a smooth bun, but of course with like coily coarse hair, then you can't really get a smooth bun without straightening it. So I understand where she was coming from, because if we constantly like straighten our hair, then like we'll lose like the curl pattern and stuff like that. So I understood where she was coming from and why she didn't want to straighten her hair. And then according to the article title, Army Grooming Standards for Men and Women, written by Rod Power, states males are not authorized to wear braids, cornrows, or dreadlocks while in uniform or in civilians' clothes on duties. Actions and statements of this magnitude speak to systematic hair discrimination.
Okay, so recently, in February, the Army updated their grooming policy. So now, there's no minimum hair length for female soldiers. You can now wear multiple hairstyles. Ponytails are now allowed if you can't get a bun, and you can highlight your hair if it's a uniform blend of colors. Though these new policies do not stop someone of high ranking from saying something insensitive or hair discriminatory to soldiers, it alleviates the soldier having to face repercussion for their hair, being that more forms of hairstyle is becoming acceptable. So the hair regulation changes were mostly geared towards Black women. Um, as you know, in the military, women have to wear their hair in a tight bun with no loose hair. So now they can wear low ponytails, braids, cornrows, twists, and locks. And hair regulations are slowly becoming illegal in all 50 states.
Okay, so these are examples of the different Army regulations that have been amended, and it just kind of shows pictures of what's allowed now. With the minimum hair length, according to this amendment, paragraph 3-2. I'm not gonna read all that, but to specify minimum hair length for female soldiers. It's now in favor of a recommendation and want to ensure that female soldiers may taper their hair and add a part in the hair as an option. Army Regulation 670-1 authorizes soldiers who are not able to naturally part the hair the option to cut a part into the hair or style the hair with one part. The part will be one straight line, not slanted or curved, and will fall in the area where the soldier would normally part the hair. In my opinion, it's still kind of strict, but like they said, it's changing, and they're amending it. Um, as far as the long ponytails go, this amendment says that such long hair ponytails are allowed in utility uniforms when conducting physical training or wearing tactical equipment, such as, but not limited to, the advanced combat helmet or combat vehicle crewman helmet, which, your hair has to be slick in order to wear. The panel is in favor of recommendation as long as the hair is secured inside the combat uniform top while conducting tactical training or combat operations. And those are just some pictures, to show. Um, Amendment pertaining to multiple hairstyles says such that two hairstyles may be worn at once. For example, locks or twists, which can be braided or twisted to the scalp. Um, the panel is in favor of authorizing multiple, which they don't have a number limit on this. Most they just state multiple hairstyles can be worn at once as long as it is neat in appearance and doesn't impact the wear of uniform and equipment. This is, pictures of, how she has her hair twisted and pulled back in a small bun. Um, different pictures of basically natural hairstyles that Black women would wear. Um, they recommend altering or removing verbiage on dimensions of braids and cornrows. For example, each must have the same approximate size of spacing between the braids, cornrows, twists, or locks. This will allow flexibility in neatly styling the hair. As far as highlights go, the amendment states that hair color should not be a color that is extreme, such as like a loud blue or green or whatever, and must present a natural appearance. Highlights are authorized. If a soldier decides to add color highlights to hair, the root growth of a different color should not exceed 1.5 inches of the original color. So basically, you have to keep it highlighted and dyed. The panel was in favor of authorizing highlights as long as it presents a natural appearance and is not a prohibited color, such as, but not limited to, purple, blue, pink, green, orange, bright red, and fluorescent or neon colors. It's recommended by the panel to make this gender neutral, as some men use hair dyes as well. And those are just some different pictures of what's allowable. And yeah, most of those are natural colors. Even that bottom picture is kind of like a light pink, but it'll still go because some people are kind of like a strawberry blonde. And I think does that conclude our PowerPoint? Dr. Savage?
All right. So as I've been looking at this, I wanted to ask a few questions. At the end of your presentation that you're turning in, is there a slide that show your references? You had one, looked like, or two actually, looked like some sources you needed to cite. Should be at least, one of those per unit, including if you have videos or whatever, we should see the websites. So is that on a slide I'm not seeing today or what?
Honestly,
I don't think that we did an actual works cited page, huh?
No.
Is that what you said?
But I think by 3 o'clock we'll have it to you, or we'll give it to Mallory.
Okay, that would be good, because I believe that's in your instructions and was implied that you could simplify that. That was the intent, meaning you could go ahead and use Google Sites. You just plop the address up there. You still need to go through that exercise as you're getting ready to graduate. Many of you have already written letters of recommendation for admission to your MSW programs. Please to do that, please. But we're always teaching, even at the very last, and so here's my stab at that in this presentation. This is not meant to be criticism, but to be, it's not meant to be negative criticism, but to be constructive, to encourage you in the work you're going to do, the work that we do in documentation, and to be aware that following instructions is essential. Can't stress it enough. So I had a real question about what y'all did to really maybe compare the glass ceiling that you talked about with women in the military. For example, as I was totally with you and listening, I wanted, and this is another constructive criticism, hopefully lesson for y'all, that if you ever have opportunity to be on Zoom calls in your work or in your MSWs, God forbid anything like this ever happens, or that it turns out that your online classes do incorporate Zoom meetings. I want to know, what was your reaction? Those of you who are brave enough to tell me, because this doesn't impact your grade, telling me this. How did you feel when I just went face off, just my face, just my name up there?
Me myself, I was just wondering if you were there, but once I heard you like speak, I implied that you were.
Mhm.
That's just my opinion.
Okay. So that was my intent, was to show you that if you hear somebody, that's good, but if you don't hear them enough, which
You assume they're
that's
not there.
exactly right, and you also don't know that they're actually engaged with you. Now, I assure you, I was engaged with what you were saying and what y'all were presenting, and will be even more engaged when I'm looking at that, plus your individual portions that you put on your forum, not forum, but your assignment link to show me which parts you actually contributed to. Okay. So,
I have a question.
uh-huh.
Okay, so you said everybody needs to submit like what they did on the PowerPoint, but like if we just presented, like do we submit a whole file to say we presented, or like just like a comment or something under the?
Okay. Well, here's the thing. When you're preparing, and this is another reason I put it up there, just so I could teach y'all this. When you are putting something up that a group is supposed to do, then you should each, especially an academic or a professional presentation, you want to represent that everyone who is involved in producing that has had some kind of input into it, other than just being assigned to just read it, or to be willing to jump in and comment or whatever, like if say 4 of you were assigned an introduction. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead, Ms. Davis.
I don't mean to cut you off at all, but I
No,
kind
that's
of
fine.
touched on that in like, we were kind of coming under the where you posted the Zoom link and stuff. And with the presenters, we discussed it like as a team, and there were some people that like absolutely are like terrified of presenting, which is probably, hence a lot of people, like you said, don't say anything, like their cameras off and they don't say much, because they don't, they actually don't like speaking much, in public. Like this is public, even though we're on Zoom.
You right.
And so we literally like discussed all of that, and incorporated that into our project, being that it was a team effort. We literally assign, presenters based upon the fact that some people just strictly wanted to do,
To piggyback,
PowerPoints.
yeah, and to piggyback off of that, that's why we kind of, well, not we, and that's why I called you in the beginning when we first kind of discussed it, to make sure that it would be approved and that
Right.
that would be an okay option,
Right.
because it is a
Yes.
large group.
Yeah.
Yes. And even though I'm using this as an opportunity to reinforce this lesson, that it needs to be very evident who contributed what, and that all of y'all should be vested in the topic or whatever it is that you're doing as a group assignment, whether it's, as I said, again, in academia, or whether it's in a professional presentation for your job. You all need to be briefed and ready to respond, even just to questions. Okay. And I understand and appreciate what you're saying, Shania. I really do. And by the way, I'm sorry, your sister's in the emergency room, you wrote. I hope she's going to be okay.
We're seeing about it now. Thank you.
Okay. All right. I am aware. I'm simply using this opportunity to reinforce lessons that hopefully we would have been able to expound on even more throughout the second half of the semester, for sure. That didn't happen, not from fault of y'all's, but from fault of mine in having adequate information prepared for y'all. So I'm not going to hold that against you per se, depending on what I see for your individual input that you've contributed to the assignment on the assignment link that I posted this morning. Okay. And I'm not asking you to go back and recreate. That shouldn't be the issue. You should have things that maybe you made note of, or you just kind of, wrote down something. I don't care what it is. Take a picture of it and send it, post it on that assignment link. Something, because there should be something other than just discussing it. I don't care if it's, copy it, take a photograph and edit out whatever you didn't want me to see on the group me, because I did not go back on, as you know, or any kind of communication that you had. Anything counts. Okay. I just want to see that all of y'all actually actively participated in the content of the material. Okay. All right. So just a couple of questions. Yeah, let's see, that were really interesting to me. The military sexual assault graph that you showed was from 2014. Marine Corps had the highest, which is very interesting because they're one of the smallest branches of the military, Army being the largest. What do you think might be going on with the different branches of the military there? Catherine, this might be your good question, or Delisha, yours.
If I had to, just from personal experience with different branches, throughout a reasoning from personal experience would be the different types of people who go towards different branches of the military, where the Marines have a strong sense of like personal pride. And so I can see how, as far as men go, certain males going towards that importance. And then that same self-importance is the same thing that plays a factor into sexual assault. It's not caring about other people or recognizing them as humans and important. So
I want to add a little bit to that.
Okay, go ahead.
I mean, this is actually I guess kind of my opinion. I would say, you said that it's very small. I would think that with the Marines, and this is not discriminatory towards women because I am a woman, but the military is, I mean, the Marines is one of the like more hardcore, like, more intensive branches of,
yeah,
right, of the military. And I think with that, being said, there's probably less women in there as opposed to like the Army. It's so many women and they're like one of the guys. Like I've seen it because I've known a lot of people in the Army, and like I said, they all, close knit, one of the guys, they go through training like that. But it's like she said, sense of pride, and then too, it's probably less women, so the pickings are slim.
All right,
For
so
lack of
try
better
this.
words.
Right, everybody try this.
More sexual
Type into chat. I'm sorry. Were you done?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Type into chat right now the first one word that comes to mind for a Marine. One word. Okay, now type in one word for Navy man, Navy woman, or Navy sailor, whatever.
Can I do 2 words? I'm sorry.
2 words. Okay.
Because I have a name in mind, not just a thing.
Okay. Oh, okay. Let's see what Army. One word for Army. It's cool. I'm watching your chat. Ooh, family. Come on. Dangerous. Oh, family. Another one. Okay. All right. So now last, ready? Brainwash. Ooh, Magdalena. Wow. How about, yeah, a lot of reserves or Army. How about Air Force? One word. What comes to mind when you see an airman or airwoman? Planes. Sky. Okay. All right. Interesting. Huh. Okay, the reason I asked you that, that's a common exercise that we do when we're teaching diversity courses or training, whatever, to give us an idea of what people perceive as culture in a defined group. So if we define a group of Marines, you did personal characteristics, which is what we see on commercials, at least from a civilian perspective, but also from being a military brat my entire high school career till I basically got married. So, I have that frame of reference, but it's dated, right? But even then, Marines were like I said, hoorah, that you're tough, you're strong, and so on. So that culture of the Marines has a more aggressive characterization, strength, power than do perhaps the other branches of the military. Really interesting that you all cite Army as one of the words you associated was family. It's very interesting about that, but I won't belabor it, but just think about, that as an example of how you identified more personal characteristics with the Marines, the Navy, and the Army, but more non-personal characteristics with the Air Force might suggest that their cultural characteristics may also be PLAIN as compared to other branches of the military, meaning that they don't really have an outstanding or prevalent characteristic as a cultural group in the military, a separate cultural group in the military, as do others. But anybody you've ever known that went to war will probably tell you that it doesn't matter what branch they in, they all tough. I know I heard that from plenty of folks through my lifetime, including a brother-in-law. So there's that. A couple other questions, just I want to make sure that we're covering everything that y'all have put your efforts into. So don't ask, don't tell. Would have been useful to have had a reference there for the Clinton era. I'm not citing you for that. Remember, we're just going through this for references. When you have a historical reference, it's best to, especially in your master's programs, you're going to be expected to do this. And that is, make sure that if you have a historical reference like that, that you have an idea of the era from which it came. And also that you would base that on some kind of specific knowledge. I mean, it's okay to, and it's really good that you brought it up, Shania, really, truly, because that is an important aspect that we need to think about with sexual assault in the military. It's not just a female thing, but it is mostly, predominantly a female thing. However, as we go forward in time, by the time y'all reach my point in life, it may be that those numbers, we pray and hope, from my personal point of view, that those numbers at least are reduced and equal. Because sexual assault can occur against a female person by another female person or group, and vice versa, male against male. So something to look for as y'all go through your careers. The 2020 case of Vanessa Gillian was a good one to bring up. Okay. When someone in the military, especially the citation that y'all, or the quote that y'all cited as, oh, you're just a girl, I'm supposed to be scared or whatever, that sounds like something that, and you may have said that, in fact, was something you might see in Marines or enlistee Army. And that is absolute harassment. Any other environment requires that that be noted and trained as harassment. I just finished doing it. The whole university faculty and staff had to do harassment training, sexual harassment training, in addition to sexual assault. So interesting that that is still tolerated, it sounds, not from your presentation alone, but from other sources too, that is still an acceptable kind of thing. I was also interested in your information about the number of women who are officers versus enlistees. And it would have been a benefit to y'all to say, have a comparison, and especially because I could not find it easily on Google. That's a real tip, that that's something that you might want to look at to liven up a presentation. So for example, it would be interesting to know, okay, so 21% of women who are in the military branches collectively that are officers. Okay, so that means that what, 79% are in enlistees. Wait, did I do that right? No, I didn't. 89% are enlistees. Is that correct? Math, more or less? Okay. So if you compared that to say, okay, how does that stack up? Current data always use the same data, most current and the same data. So say data for 2020, the number of women who are officers out of the total women in the military versus the number of men in the military who are officers versus men who are enlistees. And what do you think you might find, just speculating based on the numbers of women alone? If you compared those two, who do you think would have the largest percentage, or would you expect to have the largest percentage of male officers? Women or men?
Men.
Men.
Men?
Man,
Okay, so that would make a great research project, because in fact, we really don't know. Is it that the number of officers in enlistees who are among in the number of officers compared to enlistees, are they really greater than or less than the number of women? We really don't know, because when I was just scanning through very quickly, I couldn't find it. You know, usually you can hit, you know, even if you misspell stuff, they'll fix it for you and you can find it, right? And I couldn't find it. So that means that's not readily available information to the general public. So that would be an interesting thing for those of y'all who may be doing theses in your future. Let's see, one last thing. Glass ceiling, here's another good comparison for you. Would it make also another good research project? The glass ceiling, is it worse or the same in the military versus the general public? What would you guess?
I would say yes, because regardless if versus the military or the general public, women have a hard time reaching success.
Okay, that would be a good question to ask. Another thing that I couldn't find easily. Let's see, there was one other, the thing about hair. Can women, with the hairstyles, did y'all find anything about women? Can women be shaved as men can?
Yes, there's no minimum hair
Length requirement.
Oh, so women can have their head shaved?
anymore for
Catherine,
women.
I'm sorry, your audio's kind of in and out.
Yeah. Yes, the new.
They can. Okay. All right. Okay.
Yes, the newest regulations changed it so that women can.
Okay. So why do you think the Marines are the smallest branch, but have the highest rate of sexual assault against women? And I would guess against gay men too.
Can you repeat that?
Marines are the smallest branch. Why do they have the highest rate of assault?
Did we discuss that one already?
You didn't really go into it in detail.
Oh,
I
okay.
want to know what your thoughts
Okay.
are about that. What would you expect? Big clue, has to do with the culture we just talked about. I'll answer this for you since we're near about 2:30. The culture, very established culture of the Marines, is that they be all of those characteristics you just automatically put up there in the chat. So those are highly masculine characteristics. We don't associate those characteristics with women necessarily. Women must take on those characteristics. So you end up with the power struggle, feminist theory would tell us, between men feeling like they're being invaded and they don't like being invaded culturally, and women in their ranks, if they can't, prove themselves, and even if they do, would most Marines say at a bar, military bar, would they stand up for their women Marines, or would they acquiesce with a little bit of, joy juice, whatever? Would they acquiesce to the pressures put upon a female who would happen to be in their presence? I don't know. It'd be interesting to know. How vulnerable are all male Marines, whether they're gay or they stand up for their female colleagues? How vulnerable are men in the military for reinforcing the status quo culture? I don't know. That'd make a great qualitative study when you get into your graduate work, some of y'all. Hopefully all of y'all someday. Okay, so you know what you're going to do. I've got your PowerPoint. Mallory was the only one to put it up there because she was the one identified as among those who were putting it together. And on your post, I noticed, Mallory, you had said that you would put the whole thing together. So I'm assuming that's the case. I'm also assuming, as I saw on that first group me, remember, I am not mad about that. I just used that as an opportunity to teach you a lesson. And I'm sorry some of y'all don't relate to my humor. I had trouble. I get it from my father, rest his soul. And what can I tell you? I know that I do it with risk sometimes. But in any case,
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
What did you say? She put the whole PowerPoint together?
That she pulled it all together for the final thing.
Okay.
Some of y'all, like the group me, I saw some that Catherine had posted on the group me, but I didn't see any others. Remember when we had that discussion?
I came in a little late. I might didn't hear all of it.
Well, we had talked about the group me, and when I kind of came on real mean, which is not me, and y'all should have known right from the get-go something wasn't right with that. In any case, yeah. So probably every one of y'all may have a slide that you produced. You may have notes. It doesn't matter what it is. Post it up there on your assignment link. Okay. Let me tell you that you should expect a very generous grading on this project, because end of the semester, you were allowed to throw it together. I'm not going to beat you up about it. I would like to see a couple of references that you cited, like the one that you gave the authors and the year. Okay. And just add that on and you're good. Okay. Any questions? Glad you were able to stay with us, Andrea.
I do have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Where are we putting, you reference us making grades for each other or something in our groups? Where are we supposed to be submitting those? Or are we doing that?
If you want to submit them in your material, you're going to put on the assignment link, great, for your own individual work that you did and contributed to the project, fine. If what I suggested when I first brought this up, that LaSherrick, I think that was you that said this, I think it was you, that y'all assured that would be on the last slide on the PowerPoint when you submitted it before 3 again. All you have to do, I'm expecting maybe 3 references and maybe a website for that video y'all used.
Everything is in the PowerPoint right now. All the work cited is in the PowerPoint, so it's already taken care of.
Excellent. If I can look at that and see it, wonderful. That's all
So we
all
don't
I'm
have to worry
asking
about
for.
the assignment link. Just worry about the works cited page.
Well, LaSherica's saying that that's done. They've already done it and taken care
Okay,
of it.
yeah.
Yeah, and Mallory's doing
Yes,
thumbs
ma'am,
up.
we did.
So now all that's left is just whatever you've done. Even if you just look, you see how I've just made notes through all y'all's presentation on this little pad I grabbed first, I didn't have it ready when I was, anyway, all these pages, I would put them all together and take one big picture of that. And I would submit that if I were y'all. If that's all you got, then submit that. I just want to see you've done something toward the
Submit
project,
under
each of
where?
you individually. Ms. Anderson, what?
Submitted under where?
You have a new assignment link. Let me go to share my screen, okay? All right. Get down here. Go here. All right, so here you got unit 4. You see that? Can you see that okay?
Yeah.
All right, unit 4, scroll down to assignments. And right here, you've got an assignment link for your individual project, okay? And you're going to submit it. You got till the end of the day today, because this should something be already done.
You said we have to the end of the day, not till 3.
Oh, end of the final, 3 p.m. was the project. I believe I gave you to the end of the day today.
I was gonna say, can you give us to the end of the day? Because I honestly, my son is not going to the babysitter today, and I have to go pick him up. And I wouldn't make the 3 p.m. deadline.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Anyone else want to plead their case about that?
Oh,
I have a
there it is.
question.
There it is.
Well, first of all, text 3 p.m. if you want it 3 p.m. today, or end of day, midnight in the text. Just type that word and I'll keep track of that. Okay, Andrea?
Oh, nothing. I didn't see the link on my end. I'll guess it'll be updated afterwards.
Okay. I just want to see how many of you put 3 o'clock and how many of you put midnight or end of day, whichever.
Is this for the individual assignment?
The individual assignment.
Oh, we're all putting it today.
Yep. See, women in the military presentation due. Oh, shoot. Goodness gracious. You'd think I'd be completely ready. I think I did give you end of the day for that one. Look, I'm not changing anything else. Individual work, Monday, May 10. Nope, it's 3 p.m. Okay, so I want to see that you put the time in there in the chat, please. My inclination, and you know my nature, especially given the circumstances that were not of your doing, that slowed down the material that you needed and stuff. That's all on me. So I'm prone, more than likely, and we'll just say will put it till midnight for y'all to do that. The point of putting 3 o'clock was because I wanted to reinforce, and I'm doing that now, that those of you who go on to masters, I've done a lot of reference forms. It ain't going to be like that. I promise you. When you go, they're going to expect you to know APA, to know that you include it on every piece of work that you do. You do your references inline APA formatting, as well as on your reference form, whatever you use, you cite on your reference page, right? So you need to be able to do that, even though I didn't hold your feet to the fire about that because we didn't have time. I didn't want to make you have to go look that up and figure that out too. Just wanted content. I wanted to see some group interaction, wanted to see some sharing, and you produced that for me today. So my inclination is to be a lot more generous and giving than you will experience in the master's level. It is more giving than you will experience in the work environment. I promise you, especially if you work in any government related or government contracted or actual government totally sponsored agency. And you need to be prepared for that. You just need to be prepared for that. If you had done the work and you had something you could just take a picture of, great. That'd be no problem putting it in by 3. Even if it's, 2:30 now. But if you're having to go and pull stuff and, see, oh, when did I do that? When did I do that? Let me see. That's going to take you some time to pull together. It shouldn't be that way, but I understand how it is, and therefore we'll change that to end of day today. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Not trying to be mean, not trying to be ugly, just trying to get a last lesson in maybe to prepare you. I know you've had plenty of lessons from Dr. Salisbury, so.
Well,
And from
thank
Dr.
you.
White. Okay. All right. Congratulations. Go forth. Do good. Save the world. Make the world a better and more just place. That's what we're about. Stand up for the profession, please. It's been a long and arduous task to get us where we are now. We don't want to be thrown off our game, overtaken by classification of job descriptions that really ought to only be filled by us. So stand up for us, really, and do good. I enjoyed my encounters with all of y'all, really.
Bye, Dr. Savage.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Dionisha,
Ma'am.
your Phi Alpha stuff is in my office still.
And you know what, Dr. Savage, I've been thinking, like, did my money order go through? Like, what's going on?
No, I've had it the whole time. I was sure I sent that out, but maybe I missed you. I don't know. Yeah. Wow. And then I didn't hear from you anymore. And I knew you were in this class. I kept thinking, and like you, I kept thinking, I'm going to ask her to come get her stuff. So be sure to come get your stuff.
Do I have something over there?
I don't, did you register?
I did.
I thought I said,
no, but I'm just asking because I got my stole at the house and stuff like that. So okay. I was wondering if I had something over there that I didn't know about.
Oh, yeah, I don't think so, because I mailed all that stuff to y'all individually. That's and Dionisha's is all I had left. To
so,
Dr. Savage, when will you be in your office?
Well, I'm not going to be in my office until my last day of work. So that will be on the 17th. I have to come in physically to check out a university. So you can go to Ms. Hall. I would suggest you call her to make sure she's there before you come up, or text or email her.
Yes, ma'am.
She's at 342-1551. She can go in my office and get it.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So, Dr. Savage, is it true?
Yes.
Is it true? What I heard that you returned. Is it
Absolutely.
true?
Yes, I am.
Mm-hmm. Okay, congratulations.
Well, thank you. Yeah. I came back to work only a year-to-year basis and had told Dr. Salisbury I would work only as long as she was there. So now she's moving on to the president's office in the diversity, equity, and inclusion. So with all of this going on with my family, I don't need any more messages that I need to go ahead and just stay retired this time. Yep, it's true.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am.
And I just hope you do well, and you need especially to stay strong for the profession and stay strong for the work that you'll do for others. You're a smart lady.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Take care.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Dr. Savage, I just was trying to see that you received my evaluation.
Oh, wait, Shania, is that you?
Jordan.
Oh, wait, who's that?
Jordan, it's Fob.
Oh, Jordan. Okay, yes, ma'am. What can I do?
I was just trying to see that you get my evaluations through the email.
I did.
Okay.
Okie doke. So if there's nothing else, I'm going to go ahead and shut it down so I can get this fixed here to put this as and make an announcement that you can put your individual stuff up there by end of day. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right. All right.
Dr. Savage.
Yes, ma'am.
I need to address something with you.
Okay. All right. Privately?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So go ahead.
So I just cursed your class members out.
Why? Why are you telling me that anyway? If you cursed them out, what's it have to do with me?
Because they upset me. Like, I added my slides to the thing and I sent it to Katrina, but I noticed that my slides wasn't on there. And I just said something to them again. Now Shania telling me to send them to you. And like I just said, first of all, my slides should have been on there, because when Katrina sent me hers, I sent her back mine. And I'm sure you can see the video right now where I added my slides to Katrina's, and I'm talking to them up in this group because they did not add my freaking slides. Like, you can see it where I added my slides.
Okay.
Can you see? The one with the alcohol and stuff, those are my slides.
Okay.
And they talking about something, it was an honest mistake, but I feel like they did it on purpose because they was already mad because some stuff that I had said.
Oh.
And I told Dr. Salisbury what they did. So I think they purposely did that.
Oh. And what did Dr. Salisbury say?
About what they was doing in that group chat and stuff.
Yeah.
She was upset. And she told me that I should have she told me I should have said something. And I told her, well, I did say something. I said, but for the most part, I wasn't even in there. I said, because when they get on stuff that's off subject, I don't even talk. Because a lot of them got bad attitudes, and I do too. So I just try to avoid conflict by not even indulging, because I'm not the one.
Okay, well, I'm glad you're telling me about that, and that you, just put them on your assignment link. I mean, put them on the assignment link. Okay. And then,
because Katrina Hill can vouch that I added my slides, because her slides on there and my slides, and I sent it right back to her. And I still have it in my email. I can send you my email. You can look for yourself.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. So you already heard from Dr. Salisbury. Here's my addition to what her advice was, and then my own unique take about this. Again, as a lesson for you in this, because doing this work, Tisha, you're going to have to know how to solve conflicts. Doing this work, you're going to have to know how to restrain your attitude, because it can get you into some real trouble and lose jobs for you in this field. Not just because you might be standing up for a client and lose it with the supervisor, somebody that is, going to maybe even, call you on the carpet, cite you, and say maybe you have only two more citations for losing it when you're advocating for a client. That is a very real possibility for you and those like you. I'm one of them. I learned this the hard way more than one time in my career. Okay. It is not pleasant. It's not useful. It forms negative relationships that kind of haunt your work thereafter, and can compromise what you'll be doing one-on-one and face-to-face work. Say if you go into private counseling, you got to know how to restrain and use your strong attitude, I prefer to frame it in a positive way. That is a good thing, to have a really strong, passionate belief and attitude and a keen sense of justice, because you were treated unjustly, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that's awesome. That is a strength for you, but a weakness at the same time, because when you feel that strongly about fairness and, about standing up for yourself, it's better to address that along the way. And after, say, this all occurred, email all your folks and say, look, I didn't want to put this on the chat, didn't want to put this out there, but I want you to know that this was not professional, and I felt excluded. For whatever your reasons are, I expect that as professionals that we're learning to be, have learned to be by now, would be demonstrated for each other. Because one of our values that our code is based on is respect for our colleagues. And your students are your colleagues. They're going to be your colleagues in your profession, whether you're working directly with them or not. If they move off to another state, they're your colleagues right now in time. They're your colleagues as social work professionals with our national organization and then the world organization too. So learning how to manage that passion, and Lord knows, I wish somebody had done this when I was like at your point in my career, because we didn't talk about strengths until, oh my God, it must have been the early 1990s. That's why I have every single book that the first author who wrote about social work professor who wrote about strengths-based profession. I have those books from Dennis Salibi right now, every one of them. When I was pulling them out, I've got the original one that I was excited about, predicting then that it was going to be a thing. And sure enough, it was. I wasn't the only one predicting that, right? And that's something that we need to recognize in ourselves, that we are a strengths-based profession, and we recognize our weaknesses in our clients, and we help build on what's good and what they know and what they do. And that's what I'm doing for you now, to demonstrate. Recognize your passion, recognize your attitude, use it to your benefit.
Well, I know I have to work on my attitude, and I really been doing good, because like when I get upset about something, I just shut down. And that's what Dr. Salisbury was saying about me, that she noticed that I changed a lot, and she really proud of me. But it's just a lot what they've been saying this semester, and a lot of stuff they've been doing that I just don't agree with, and I've just been being quiet to keep me from going to the next level on something else.
Okay.
Because Donisha, the Woodridge girl, her mouth real smart, and she always got something slick to say. Her and Octavia. And I feel like them two right there don't like me anyway, because every time they be trying to come for Dr. Salisbury, I take up for her. Because like I said, Dr. Salisbury has been helping us all. And for y'all to be trying to be rude, that lady got a lot on her plate, just like you do. Just like I want them to be understanding of us when we have a lot on our plate and still have to do class work. I feel like they deserve the same. So yes, I'm gonna say some of you catch your attitude and I disagree.
Okay.
I did feel.
Well, good for you. And thank you for standing up for us. That's awesome, because that's also collegiality, is growing through that process of student taking on the clothing. That's what we call that, socializing in the profession, taking on that professional demeanor and attitude is what we expect. So for me, you're doing this now and being able to suppress your, being in their face until the end is moving in the right direction. I'm proud of you too, just like Dr. Salisbury, proud of several of unique ones of you. Okay. I would encourage you, however, to use those in positive ways, as I've said, your strengths, but use them in the now. Try not to hold that stuff in. We call that gunny sacking, because whereas you might have, been real spontaneous in, calling people out in your attitude when you would express it, you learn to rein that in, is what you're saying. And I agree. I've seen you manage that too in the courses you've had with me and now. but you don't want to go the other extreme. You got to find that happy balance, and only you can do it. And you got to do it with some work, personal work. That happy balance is not to hold it in, because when you hold it in, it just pours out just like it just did. You see, and that's not going to be constructive for you professionally, and really not even in your relationships either, just personal relationships.
Yes, ma'am.
Because it doesn't feel good when things just sort of rock along, and even when as your professors we perceive certain things about you, we wait in a professional program, in this one anyway, to see you evolve, right? And you did. So be sure you take that as a lesson, to use that strength. Really, Tisha, use that strength, because you're going to be awesome.
Thank you.
You are. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Enjoy your retirement.
I will. I really will. It's going to be quite a relief, because I have, always kind of struggled since I came back after my first retirement, and kind of keeping up, with various things, and in addition to teaching. And then when family stuff hits, I just can't do it, And I guess because I had retired once, I had retired once and was able to do that, and not being able to do it now is really difficult for me, really.
I totally understand.
Yeah. I actually quit work. This is the third time I've actually stopped working. Of course, I have the benefit this time of having retired. The first time was when I was pregnant for my second baby. All my kids are a year apart. They're all in their 30s now, of course. But I quit work then for 3 years, so I could be home with them, because I really wanted to be able to do that, and it was good because it forced my husband to do what he needed to do. Anyway, and then the second time was when my mother was dying. She was 50. You had me when she was 15. We were about friends more than mom and child. And yeah, I quit work then. Just said I can't work anymore. And there was nothing in the wings either. But I did it, and it was the best thing I ever did, because it gave me an experience that is quite remarkable. Responsible for one of my tattoos right here. And so now, having retired once, it was like, oh man, all of this at one time. I need to take it to the end, leave, tie up loose ends, and then let someone else take it over, so I can do what I need to do. So I appreciate it.
Oh, they're gonna have 2 new teachers now, huh?
Yes, indeed. Yep. So be glad you're leaving now. You're graduating now.
I told Dr. Salisbury, don't leave till I'm gone.
Well, she
because I needed her. Sure. There
you go. Yeah, I regret her leaving, and I'm just praying and hoping that there's another Dr. Salisbury in the wings, because there are students who definitely need her. Yes.
Yes, Lord. Because a lot of teachers don't have the same they don't have the same feelings that she had towards what we doing.
Right. And certainly towards those of you who are Black students or Hispanic students, because of, she just has that unique ability to relate to y'all in ways that even I can't, So, and I think Dr. Horn, if she moves into that position, Dr. Salisbury's position, she's going to look for that. I really feel confident she will.
Who, Dr. Horn? I didn't really like her.
Oh, you did? Why not?
No. When I took her, I didn't really like her.
Oh, for what reason?
She just...
It's confidential. I'm not going to pass this on to her.
Well, for one, she didn't really teach like I expected her to, because of the stuff that we were learning. And then she was kind of rude. She wasn't really helpful. Like I didn't like that at all.
Well, we all have our we all have our different ways, and sometimes those that are hardest on you are most difficult in terms of being, nose to the grindstone kind of thing. That those are the ones you end up learning the most from. Do you know that?
But you know how like we can ask y'all questions and stuff. She was always acting like she was just too busy to like give extra help or ask questions. And I don't like stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, you may let Dr. Salisbury know that. I mean, she's going to have influence on who is going to, be in those positions. So.
Yeah, she asked me my opinion about a couple.
Oh, okay.
Because she know I'm going to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right. Have a good day.
All right. You take care.
And we got to turn ours in by the end of the day.
Yeah, whatever you've got stuff on your phone, just send that to me. You should be able to just send whatever you've got on.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm taking a picture of my slides that I made, but it won't let me see. It's letting me, I have to do the pictures one at a time.
Oh.
Like it won't let me send both of them. It's doing one at a time, and it won't let me submit it but one time.
Oh, okay. Well, look.
So unless I put one of my slides in the upload and then add the other one to the comment.
So do you have what kind of phone you got?
An iPhone.
Yeah, that's what I got too. You can't look at your text that you're doing, because I'm assuming you're looking at text, correct?
Yeah, I took a picture of my slide. See?
You're frozen on your camera. I don't know why.
I took a picture of my slide.
Right. Yeah, you showed me that. So yeah,
and I'm trying to send it to you, but it won't do right. It's only letting me do one slide at a time.
Well,
unless I can email it to your email it to you from my personal email. That's the only way. Or to your email, your school email.
However you can get it to me. You've already got evidence of your work. That's all I'm wanting. Okay. It's just evidence of each person's individual work. Right.
Okay. Well, I'm finna email you my slide.
Okay. And I don't care if you have to you do multiple emails to get it up there, Tisha. I don't care. Just do it. So I can see your stuff.
Well, that's what I'm
right. Because it'll also show the time and date on your communications. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Because I just took a picture of I went to my my PowerPoint thing and took a picture of it, and I'm trying to send it to you.
Okay. Okay. Yeah,
because they trying to act like you. Now they trying to act like it was an honest mistake, but I don't believe them.
Yeah. Well, just send those pictures to me. You should be able to do that. And like I said, I don't care if you send me a lot of emails. I'll see them.
Okay, I just sent it.
Okay. All right.
All right. Have a good day.
Okay, you too.
All right, bye.
Enjoyed you.
Enjoyed you too. I love you.
Oh, sweetie, I love you too. Oh, that's so reassuring because I thought you hated me.
No.
Oh,
no, I don't hate you. I love you and Dr. Salisbury. I tell her that all the time.
Oh, Lord. Well, thanks a lot. Thank you, sweetie. You just go forth, raise good children, make a good world, and do good.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. See you later.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.